The ANC's National Lekgotla, ANC NEC Lekgotla resolved that the country should go into a state of disaster, as we saw with the floods in KwaZulu-Natal, and also as we saw with COVID-19 within the country, on the virtue that load shedding is a state of disaster. The country has just been ramped up to stage 5 by Eskom, starting midday today, going up until 9 o'clock in the evening. So the Secretary General of the ANC, Mbabula, saying that they must not pay lip service to the issue of Eskom, saying that they are fixing things, yet that some ANC leaders are in denial over this issue of Eskom, saying that it is a crisis. Eskom has not been fixed in the time frames that the government has said will fix them. Now the governing party is entering the fray, saying that this must be a state of disaster, there must be emergency procurement, and there must be business not as usual in order to fix the power utility. But I am going to bring in the Secretary General of the ANC, Mr. Mbabula. Mr. Mbabula, the state of disaster has been called upon by the National Executive Committee Lekgotla this weekend. How is government going, and how is the ANC going to influence government in the cabinet Lekgotla starting as of tomorrow to declare it a state of disaster, and how will it be rolling out, and what will be the legislation that will be used for that?
Well, we have agreed on this because we have realized that part of the weakness we might have had over time is to agree and affirm that we are indeed faced with electricity crisis, and also in terms of Eskom. So we have been dealing with this ad hoc. Like now, we were in the press conference, we are told we are moving to stage 6 of load shedding. So every time something like that happens, we can't call a press conference to say how is this going to be dealt with. It means there must be a consistent mechanism to reverse this disaster, which is a disaster for business, which is a disaster for social activity of society in general. Society that is in distress. Kids can't go to school, and if they have to go to school, there are other challenges that they are facing and so on. So we have to address this, and that is why we said once and for all there should be an emergency. If it is a state of emergency for us, we don't want an intervention that is going to infringe on the rights of the population. We want an emergency mechanism of intervention that deals with the problem, which is at Eskom. If the problem at Eskom is allocation of resources, management and all of that, engineering problem and all of that, you've got to zoom into that. So through the disaster and the command council, you will be able to expedite, meaning like COVID, you identify the problem, you are able to deal with it. You give people masks and all of that. If the problem is money at Eskom, we want billions of rands. We intervene, we deal with that. And the mechanism of the state of disaster, if it helps us to focus, that is what we want. But we don't want anything that we declare and is going to infringe on the rights of people and all of that. We want something that we use as a tool to focus and intervene and